Retro Rebel Gamecast is brought to you by templeofgeek.com, your one-stop shop for all things geek. You can find all our episodes and fulfill your sci-fi, fantasy, and geek culture-related needs at templeofgeek.com. Welcome to the Retro Rebel Gamecast, where we discuss gaming and related topics. Retro Rebel is released Fridays, and you can find this episode and much more by heading to templeofgeek.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts. You can even find us on Facebook and Instagram at Retro Rebel Podcast for exclusive content and to see what else we're up to. My name is Amanda, and this week I'm joined by a special guest host, Steve. Welcome back,
Yo, what up?
Steve.
Happy to be here. Round two. We
We
did
didn't
the
scare you
horror.
away the first time, so that's always a
Hell
good
no.
sign.
Oh, I see what you did there. You didn't scare me away with the horror list. Oh boy. So funny.
Well, we
Hell
brought
no.
you back in. This time we're going to talk about what you claim is your modus operandi, the platformer.
This is it. I'm a big platformer fan, and I'm getting heated looking at this list. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Uh, well, before we jump right into the 30 best platformer games of all time, let's talk about what we're playing right now. So, what are you playing, Steve?
So right now, I had to go on. We all know what the Among Us game is about, but there's a lot of games like that out at the moment, and the one I've been playing is called Dread Hunger. It's a great social game. It's a whodunit game. It's like 1887. You embark on an expedition into the Antarctic. It's a Victorian era English game, and you all take a role on a ship. There's a cook, a captain, an engineer, and such. And two of your crewmates out of the 8 players that are on the ship are cannibals, if you like. You know, it's very much a horror game in itself. You eat the crew members to survive and stuff. If you're the cannibals, but if you're not, you got to get the ship from one end of the ice floe to the other, and it's absolutely sick. It's got some great mechanics. Only recently just come out of early access. It's fantastic.
Is
Really
it
good game.
on PC or console?
It's only on PC.
Excellent. So, those of you as part of the PC Master Race, you can play some
Oh yeah,
social whodunit.
it's great.
Excellent. I've been continuing my board game arena fetish. I am still playing Marrakesh, which you wouldn't know, but I had mentioned with, I think, guest host Mark that it's a rug salesman adventure board game where you have a little market stall in a Marrakesh market and you sell rugs, and your competitors also all sell rugs as well. So you're competing for floor space and you put your little rugs over their rugs so that they have less floor space. It's sort of like a
Oh,
backstabby um, cover the board kind of game. It's
right.
really easy to play. And there's like a little figurine named Assam that you move around and it determines where you can go on the board. So when the other players land on your spaces, the bigger, the more rugs that you have in one spot, the more tax they pay you for being in your
Oh,
market stall.
it's Monopoly but with carpets.
Yeah, but it's much easier because you only have one carpet, so there's not much to
Right,
do other than put down the carpet that you have. And the game ends when you run out of rugs or you run out of money.
right.
So it's pretty fun.
Okay.
It's very easy. Like this game
Yeah,
is a breeze, but it's
carpets.
it's super addictive because it's pretty fast and it doesn't take much brain power. So I've been playing the crap out of that. Um, so with that out of the way, we should dive right in to the 30 best platformer games of all time, according to videogamer.com. Now, we have used videogamer.com for many of these lists because it is one of Google's top results. Good for them and their SEO. However, we believe that this list is generated based off of their website review scores and therefore is fairly limited in scope. And we found while going through the stealth ones and the RPG ones that there is a fair amount of things missing. Most of the older titles aren't present because this website is new, so that automatically cuts it out. We don't really see anything before the 2000s generally on any of these lists. So we're going through their top picks. Steve has kindly supplied his own list of what he would make as the top 20. We'll put that in the website so you can take a look at that and we'll go through it at the very end. But first, let's just start at number 30. and go through what they're saying the best platformers are of all time. One note is there is one franchise that's going to dominate this list. This is the first one we're going to talk about. It's Mario, and we're going to talk about it once, and then we're not going to talk about it again. I'll mention all the games in the order that they are when we get to them, but we're not going to hit it again because it's so prevalent on this list.
So
So
many Super Marios, yeah.
yeah, so number 30 is Super Mario 64 DS for the Nintendo DS, and it is the first of very many Super Marios on this list. So, do you want to talk about Mario as a franchise? What you think is the best?
I do love Super Mario. I gotta say, it's great. As a big platformer fan myself, I do like the little red dude and green Mario. Obviously, I love those little boys. Toad, all them guys. My favorite one, I think, has gotta be either Super Mario World or Super Mario 3D World as well. The one with the cat suit, purely because it's close to my heart. I 100%ed out on a vacation I took to America once. Me and my friend, we just sat for 2 weeks straight and blasted through 3D World. It's fantastic.
Is
But
that the one where they're wearing the little onesies and they have the little tails and
yeah,
stuff?
the cat suits, yeah, and they
That's so
dive through the
cute.
air. His cat Bowser at the end. He was wearing a collar the whole time, but now that he's wearing one, it's weird. All of a sudden, that he's a cat. I always said, but no, Super Mario is fantastic. Obviously deserves a place as one of the greatest platforms of all time. But yeah, it is on this list like 10 times. So that's really all I gotta say. Green Mario is the best.
All right, excellent. You heard it here, folks. Now, I've played Mario on the regular Nintendo and the Super Nintendo, and then a few emulators, and that's it. I've never owned a Nintendo myself, so I played it on my uncle's Nintendo. Oh, I did get given a Super Nintendo in the very early 2000s. It's now, I think, forever at my mom's house.
There you
But
go.
I did play, but I am not, and I'll say it right now, I'm not a big platformer, which is why we have expert guests on this show instead of me trying to fumble through it. Um, I did my favorite game for the Super Nintendo was the Star Wars game where you could freeze it and see Leia in her really cute outfit. That was my favorite part, and that is now a core memory for better or worse.
Very
So
telling. Yeah,
yeah,
explains a lot.
so that's pretty much the only anecdote I'm gonna have
I
for
don't.
most of this list.
I don't even remember the game you're talking about, where you can freeze the on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even remember that.
yeah. You can pause it, obviously.
Yeah.
And if she was jumping and you paused it, her like little skirt
Uh,
was slightly squiff.
great, great. I'll write that down for later. Cool.
Listen, in the early 2000s, before the internet, a side bum cheek was
Hey,
super
no
fun.
judgment here. It's all good. You want your Super Nintendo Star Wars? You have it. I'm supportive of you 100%.
But anyway, so in terms of platformers, I'm not gonna have a whole lot of
Shame
anecdotes.
it's not on this list.
I know
Right?
it isn't.
Maybe it should be.
It isn't. I'll try to find the title of it just later because it is one
Okay.
of the few things I have reference for. But let's move on to 29. This is
Cool.
Celeste for the Nintendo Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So I've never even heard of this game.
Oh man, this is one of the greatest platformers to come out in recent times. I say recent. It came out a while ago, but oh lord, yeah, it's fantastic. So it follows a trend in video games you see nowadays where dashing is a thing. Having a little dash move, something that lets you move fast, especially in platformers. It's a big thing, and Celeste capitalizes on that so huge. No 1-2 levels are the same at all. It follows the story of a lady that she's got a huge anxiety and she's got to climb a huge mountain, um, Mount Celeste, and she's really nervous about it. And her grandma laughs at her in the first little bit. It's so funny. But she like learns to overcome her anxiety and eventually climb the mountain, of course. And you meet some friends along the way, and some sick stories happen. There's always a mechanic in it or a theme to each level. There's like one level where all the platforms move in certain directions. There's one where you can only dash in certain directions. There's one where a little ghost chases you throughout the whole level. It's fantastic. Like Celeste really is one of the greatest platforms ever. It's sick. If you haven't played it, what are you doing?
Well, not generally not playing Fibs. So I did find what I was talking about. It's Super Star Wars for the SNES, and this is like
Super
the boss
Star
battle.
Wars. Oh my god. There it is. Fantastic. Well, I can see the appeal. All 8 pixels there. Yeah,
Listen, it was very exciting. But yeah,
I bet it
it's
was.
a Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi for the Super Nintendo. That's what it
And it
was.
look
I love
it
that
l-
game.
it looks like a platformer too. So hey, look at
Yeah,
that. Relevant.
it 100% is. It's like there was jump mechanics, there was things coming in. Like it's actually a really good game and
Great.
probably the only one I would put on this list because of the
There you
nostalgia
go.
alone. All right, number 28, Little Nightmares for Nintendo Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Now I played Little Nightmares 2 as we talked about in the horror segment, and
Of course.
I'm stuck on a bit and I've never gone back to it, but I do love the art style. This whole franchise is ominous. It's very cool looking. I would say that this is perhaps a hybrid puzzle platformer because there are puzzle elements as well, but Little Nightmares, I mean, great game.
Yeah. Fantastic. Great little nostalgic horror game, right? Things you might have been scared of as a kid.
Um, Now we're moving on to several that I don't know anything about. So number 27, Axiom Verge for the Nintendo Switch, PC, PS4, PS Vita, Wii U, and Xbone. What is this
So this is
game?
like a kind of takeaway from Metroid. This is a very similar game to Metroid, which of course Metroid deserves a place on this list and does not have one. So maybe this is the stand-in, the modern day Metroid. But oh, great art style, yeah, pixely type game, similar to sort of Metroid Prime and plays in the same way. Great game, great art style, like it's fantastic, really cool game.
See, I think art, like, just as a segue, I think art makes a huge difference to whether a platformer is desirable because their core mechanics are all pretty similar. So art form that
Well,
does matter.
another trend people are following nowadays is these games that are designed retro, like pixely type games that are especially indie games that have these art styles that are very minimalist and very,
Mm.
and if it's done well, it's fantastic. And Axiom Verge is a good example of that. Celeste is as well. That's another pixely type, 16-bit type game, you could say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more an adventure person, but I've been playing the 16-stroke 32-bit Nexomon Extinction, the Pokemon ripoff.
Oh,
It's great. It's
oh, yeah.
amazing. Okay, so number 26, Tearaway Unfolded for the PS4. Now I don't have a PS4, so you got to tell me what's Tearaway Unfolded.
Well, I would absolutely love to, but I gotta say, Tearaway Unfolded is not one I have heard of. It's not one I've ever seen before. I've never heard of this. I'm looking at it right now, and I gotta say, yeah, I can see why I might never have heard of it. It doesn't look like a game I would play, to be honest with you. I
Is
don't know. It
it
looks
an
like a
indie?
Crash Bandicoot type, Ratchet and Clank type game, 3D
Oh,
platformer.
oh my God, Ratchet and Clank is one of the worst gaming memories of my life. One of my very
Ratchet and
early
Clank.
boyfriends was like obsessed and ignored me for 12 hours while he played that game. We'll never play it again.
Again, another game that should be on this list that isn't.
All right, number 25. Now, this game is an indie darling, I would say. Ori and the Blind Forest for the Nintendo Switch, PC, Xbox 360, Xbox One. Like this, I I would like to say made waves in terms of restricted color theory and unique art style.
This one right here it has got to be in the top 10, like 25. There's
I
a couple of
know.
mobile games that are higher up than this. What are you doing? Like this, I believe won soundtrack of the year a few years ago, but closer to when it came out. But there's a sequel to this as well, Will o' the Wisp, that isn't on here, but I guess they sort of bunch them together. Either way, or The Blind Forest and Will o' the Wisp should be on here. Just there was a time in my life when I couldn't listen to this soundtrack without crying instantly. I would burst into tears. I got a big music background, and I would ugly cry the moment this came on. Oh my god, this game is so special. If you wanna play a Disney like foresty type nature game that's gonna make you cry instantly, yeah, play this game. Absolutely, one
Oh
of the
wow.
greatest art, music, platforming, the mechanics, all of it,
I'm not
all of
gonna
it.
make fun of you for crying at a game because when Zevran left me in Dragon Age, I was devastated for like a week. So,
There you go. There you go.
spoiler for a 20-year-old game. I think everybody's okay. But yeah, I don't really form that level of connection with characters that I can't really influence. So I tend to form connections with RPG characters and things like that. Not so much action adventure or like story on rails situations. Not
Well, it
always, but like Telltale gets me. I don't know. I'm not necessarily sure I would feel the same way in a game that's not about me. Maybe I'm just super narcissistic gamer.
well, it's less about the characters and it was more for the music for me. Like I say, huge music background over here, so it really hit me in a lot of different ways. Ori's so good, so
Ori.
good.
All
Yeah.
right. Moving on to number 24. It's another Mario, Super Mario 3D World for the Wii
Super
U.
Mario,
Super
whatever.
Mario. Continuing on. Number 23, Gunpoint for the PC. Now,
Ooh, here we go.
I'm not a PC gamer unless it's an MMO or a board game. Gunpoint.
Gun points, yeah. Pointing a lot of guns. Gotta say, not too familiar with this one, although it looks like. Oh, it looks like one of those old. What's that one game now? My god, it's on like a big collections. Elevator Action or something. It's a Japanesey type game. Where the whole mechanic of the game is just taking elevators to different floors in the building. But there's so much more
Right.
to it than that. But this looks like that. I don't know. Maybe it
And
deserves a
I think
place
it
on the list.
also
Maybe
looks
it
a
don't.
little bit like what is it, Fallout Vault, where you like
Yeah.
like just visually. I'm sure that's not how it plays at all. It says it's a stealth-based puzzle platform video game from indie developer Tom Francis.
Oh. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, maybe
It's
it
cute.
deserves a place. Maybe it don't. Never heard of it. I'll be honest.
It's fine. We won't cast judgment at this time. The next one is Rain on the PS3. Now, this
Rain.
one looks like sort of up your street. So, it says
May
it's an adventure video game developed by Acquire and Japan Studio and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PS3 from
Oh,
2013. It has a
cool.
very cool
Well,
looking art style. If
yeah,
anybody is watching on our visual media, I'll just hold it up. It's very cool, like quite atmospheric looking. Um,
yeah. I don't know. I never heard of it. I gotta say, I hate to say that something like if I've never heard of it, why is it on the list, right? But you are thinking of like the top 30 games of all time. It's gotta be something huge, right? And I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of it. Maybe credit where credit is due. A lot of people voted on this list or something, right?
apparently the rain is a mechanic that
Oh,
you have to use to guide and protect yourself while you're trying to save an invisible girl from ghostly creatures.
oh, cool.
Sounds kind of cool.
Sounds like Ico, like Shadow of the Colossus type.
Well, if you haven't played this
Awesome.
one, I highly doubt that you've played number 21, Beat Sneak
Okay,
Bandit.
real talk. Okay, real talk. I hate this argument that people throw around where it's mobile games are games, mobile gamers are gamers. Okay, whatever. Like, who cares? You if you play games, like, who cares about being a gamer, right? Just play games and have fun. But my God, what are mobile games doing here? And sitting next to like spoilers, Donkey Kong Country is not on this list, but Beat Sneak Bandit for the mobile gaming device is. Absolutely get out of here. Nope.
Listen, I hear you. However, on rare occasions, mobile games do become a frenzy. And because we're in the UK, maybe we're not party to all the things that become a frenzy. Because
Maybe you're
Among
right.
Us became most popular as a mobile and sort of PC cross hybrid experience. So people were really enjoying it because they could play it everywhere.
Okay. Well, why ain't Among Us on this list, and why isn't Among Us on any of these lists, huh?
Well, to be
Answer me
fair,
that.
Among Us, I would say is a puzzle stroke
It's
strategy
it's
game.
not a platformer. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm just not into the argument that oh yeah, mobile games are absolutely God's gift. Donkey Kong Country, where you at? No, we got Cordy instead. Great.
Well, yeah, so the next one, number 20, which means that it is quote unquote better than Ori in the Blind Forest. It
Better than Ori and the Blind
is
Forest. Cordy
Cordy,
for
an iOS
iOS.
game from Silvertree Media from 2011.
Woo!
Blah, blah,
Cordy, right? Aren't we all getting hyped for Cordy? I know I am. Yeah. I would never want to play Donkey Kong. Get his ass Out of here. Metroid,
Well, at
Castlevania,
the moment,
nah.
I don't even think it's visible on the standard app stores. At the moment,
Oh
I think
dear.
it is only on Amazon App Store, according anyway. So you
Oh.
couldn't even play it if you wanted to because they got acquired and then I don't
Cordy,
know.
ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen. Cordy.
it. All right, so we're back to something I'm sure you can agree with, although it features a lot on this list. Number 19, Super Mario 3D Land for the Nintendo
Super Mario.
3DS. It's Mario. It's a good.
Yeah. It's a green
The
red
next
gummy
one's
bear.
also Mario. Number 18, Luigi's Mansion 2 for the Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion, all good.
Number 17, and I think this is an adorable looking game, Kirby's
Mm.
Epic Yarn for the Wii.
Of all the Kirby games, you got Kirby Superstar, you got Kirby's Dream Land. You gotta put Epic Yarn on the list. Like if you're gonna put any Kirby game, put like the N64 one on here or something. Put like
But to be
the
honest, the
SNES
art
one.
style of Kirby's Epic Yarn is super unique. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's probably why it's there because the art style is so unusual.
Fair enough. I'll give it a pass on this one.
It's very cute.
Okay.
Number 16. Now, both of these titles appear on this list. So this is Little Big Planet 2.
Hell
The
yeah.
prequel is also on this list, a bit higher up. So Little Big Planet 2 for the PS3, PS Vita. I haven't played it. Everyone was obsessed with it, though. I remember
Yes.
back in the day.
I definitely was. Little Big Planet is so good. Not just for the oh Lord, I went to say Stephen King. What a travesty. What's his name? QI, right?
Fry?
Stephen Fry. My God, a travesty. I'm gonna go and do something awful to myself as a British person that doesn't
No!
remember Stephen Fry. But not even for the Stephen Fry voiceovers, but like Little Big Planet was so good. Like these creator type games where you can get imaginative, these make your own sort of things. It's one of these other games I feel that, especially as a launch game for the PlayStation 3, really paved the way for creative indie games, sort of, bright sparks, giving the inspiration off and enabling people to make their own games. Oh, Little Big Planet was great. Absolutely great. I still think that only the first one should be on this list. The second one was good, but it will always be the first one for me. And I think the first one's in the right place too. But we'll get to that.
Okay. Number 15, another iOS game, this Doodle
Oh,
Jump.
here we go. Bloody mobile games. Of course, I've never heard of it. I don't play no mobile games on my phone or anything like that. Play enough games at the PC as I do, or on the console.
So, Doodle Jump, I think you'd recognize the artwork because it's quite iconic. It's
Nah,
this
not at
little
all.
weird doodle dude.
Weird doodle
And
dude, right?
it is a platformer published by the Croatian studio Lima Sky for all the types. The reason why they state for the iOS, I think that's because it came out on iOS first. So they've just never updated it. Yeah, it's a simple little platform
Cool.
for your phone. Like
Little
it's
cute
not
art
it's
dude.
not revolutionary, I wouldn't think, but the art style is unusual.
No, man, this is one of the best games of all time. What are you talking about?
I haven't played it, so I'm not gonna slate
Better
it.
than Ori. Whatever.
Number 14, another game people went batshit crazy
Oh
for.
yeah.
Super Meat Boy for the Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation 4, PS Vita, Wii U, Xbox 360, probably all the current titles as well. People
Yeah.
love this game.
I know I did. Super Meat Boy, sick game. Absolutely brilliant. Just really simple too. Really easy. Not easy, but simple concept, easy to learn, hard to master. You just jump from point A to point B and that's it. But my god, there's so much more to it than that. Whew, fantastic game. Great soundtrack too.
There you go. Number 13, have you played this? Lost Winds Winter of the Melodious for iOS and the Wii. It
Well,
sounds like a music game, which you seem to be quite interested in, the ones with strong soundtracks.
you say Lost Winds. Have you played this? And then you say iOS. So the answer is no,
Well,
absolutely not. I never
Wii.
had a Wii either. Never had a Wii. Unfortunately, I don't know. It looks like Crash Bandicoot. I gotta be honest. Looks like a side-scrolling 3D ish pseudo 3D platformer. Yeah, yeah.
The player controls a young boy named Toku and the elemental wind spirit Enril as they travel Mistralus in order to rescue it from the antagonist Balasar, a vengeful spirit.
I know, it looks good, to be fair.
It looks cute.
Nice art. Yeah, it looks cute.
Does he have a little chicken suit? It's hard to tell what he's wearing. Okay, number 12. Splosion Man for the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I never had a 360, but I do know Splosion Man from Newgrounds, right? Wasn't Splosion Man a stick figure game on Newgrounds way back in the day? 2006 type
So
era?
yeah, it's from Twisted Pixel, and it was an arcade title. And the Splosion Man looked like that, like a green, orange, sort of crazy looking guy with big yellow eyes and hair made
No, it
out
was
of
great.
explosions.
That was a great one. Yeah, I never had a 360, but even I remember Splosion Man. Yeah, big time.
I haven't played it, but yeah, it looks. I remember the art for it. Now we've got another iOS title. Now this is at number 11, which is pretty high for a I would say non-mainstream mobile title. So this is Sway for iOS. And I can't even find it.
Yeah, like so I think there's a bit of a miscommunication going on here, or someone's trolled the list because Sway is a dating sim from what I'm seeing here.
Listen, there, like I have found it, but it did take some looking.
Oh, okay.
It's a difficult game. It's from
It
Illusion
clearly it
Labs.
you know what? Neither of us have heard of it, and we can't even find it. And here it says that Sway is being shut down in 2018, so it definitely deserves to be placed number 11 over Metroid, Castlevania, Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, it
Yeah,
absolutely should be.
I don't think so. No.
It did.
Okay. Number 10, Donkey Kong Jungle Climber for the Nintendo DS, the first Donkey Kong
Okay,
title on the list.
you. I'm allowed to swear here. Yeah, I have sworn
Yeah, of
this
course,
already. Okay, you
absolutely.
motherfuckers. Out of every Donkey Kong, you gotta put Jungle Climber for the fucking DS. You absolute fucking. I cannot believe this. Donkey Kong Country. I've said it a few times already, and literally everyone who knows who Donkey Kong is gonna know why. God damn you people. Jungle Climber for DS. All right, sick. So we're just gonna say every Donkey Kong is there on the 10 spot, and we're gonna
I love
rest
it.
easy. We're gonna rest easy and sleep well.
Yeah, throw every Donkey Kong there, just like the whole
Yes,
franchise. Boom, done. All
he's
right, number
finally here.
9. This is Little Big Planet, the original one for the PS3 and the PSP, so it's here. I think it belongs there. It was very
Yeah,
popular.
yeah. There was no need to put the second one on the list. Just put Little Big Planet right there. All good.
Number 8, Super Paper Mario for the GameCube and Wii. Really cool art style, Paper Mario.
Yeah.
And then number 7, Super Mario Galaxy, also for the Wii.
Super Mario all the way.
Now we have Mario versus Donkey Kong 2 at number 6, March of the Minis for the Nintendo DS. Very specific.
I've never even heard of this. Mario versus Donkey Kong 2, March of the Minute. What are you talking about?
Number 5, Psychonauts for the PC, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, and Xbox. I've not played it.
Okay, so this is an interesting one. Psychonauts, yeah. I have played it a little bit, and it's a really cool, unique sort of style of game where you dive into the psyche of crazy dudes, and the art style is all over the place. But the funny thing about Psychonauts is that I played it a bit and didn't think much of it, but apparently everyone, every man and his dog shits their pants about Psychonauts, and I honestly, in my own opinion, I don't know why. It's not that I don't like it or I think it's bad or it doesn't deserve a place on the list. It must be good if everyone's into it, but I just never saw the appeal myself. That's me personally, just opinion.
Listen, that's fair enough. Not every game is for you. Like, everyone loves Kingdom Hearts, and I couldn't care
Oh
less.
my god, what even is the story to that game?
Yeah, I don't care. Okay, number 4, New Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo DS. Fucking moving on. Number 3, Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. Moving on. Number 2,
Super Mario.
Inside for the
Number 2
PC.
position of the greatest platformers of all time. Yeah, Inside's good, but like number 2? Come on now. Like top 10, okay. Number 2 though. I don't know.
And then number 1, Super Mario Galaxy 2 for the Wii as the best platformer of all time.
I
A
gotta
Wii
say,
game.
Mario Galaxy. It was gonna be between Odyssey or Galaxy 2. To be honest with you, they are some of the greatest out there. But I don't know. Let's put Inside above Odyssey because like what are you talking about?
Okay, well, you've made your own list because this
Okay, so
one
let's
is
put
trash.
this list in the goddamn trash, right? I know a thing or two about platformers, and let me tell you, this list, there's no Shovel Knight, there's no Blasphemous, there's no Hollow Knight. What are you doing? Okay, so in no particular order, I'm hijacking the whole
Do it.
fucking thing here.
Do it.
God damn. So no particular order. I got 20 games right here. They easily could have put, and some of these are on the original list. Forgive me, I didn't realize. Um, you got Hat in Time. What a fucking great game! Oh my god, Hat in Time, so creative, so good. Art style, the music, everything about it, and the fact that it's got so much like mod support for PC. There's so many things you can do with Hat in Time. It's got some sick references to other games. It pays deference. It's like a 3D platformer game like Crash Bandicoot or Ratchet and Clank. Really, really cool one. Deserves a place on the list somewhere. Little Big Planet's the next one. Okay, they put it in the original. Good, because my god, paved the way. 18, I got Ratchet and Clank. Again, this is in no particular order, but Ratchet and Clank should have been on the original list. Come
I mean, I
on.
agree, but I also hate that game.
Fair enough. You could put Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter. In my eyes, they were the same game when I was growing up. Jack and Daxter came out. I'm like, oh, it's like a Ratchet and Clank sequel, right? No, it's a completely different game. But they both should be on the list.
Fair enough.
No Sonic the Hedgehog.
That was what
17.
I found most weird. No
What?
Sonic at all.
No
That's
Sonic?
insane. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, okay, everything after like Sonic and Knuckles was rubbish, but like, no Sonic. Okay, I'm not even a big Sonic fan. Donkey Kong, goddamn country at 16. Self-explanatory, needs no introduction. 15, Spelunky, right? No Spelunky on this list. You ever play that one?
No.
PC game, came out for Switch and console not too long after. It's a roguelite type of game where you run through a dungeon and it's really, really hard. It's totally brutal. Like you can die in the stupidest, most ridiculous ways. It's like Indiana Jones type, you Temple of Olmec type platformer exploring game. But oh my god, it's really silly and there's a lot of different mechanics. Really cool game. Ori is on here. Okay, they put Ori on there. Fine, all good. I won't say no more. Where's Rayman? 13.
Yeah, that is
Where's
weird. I was
Rayman?
looking for Rayman, yeah.
There's no Rayman on that list. Rayman's a classic one.
Mhm.
For PlayStation 1, that one. You got Super Meat Boy. Okay, it's on the original. Fantastic. They sleeping on Cuphead at 11.
Yeah,
They sleeping. Like, how popular is that game? There's
so
iOS.
popular.
There's bootleg iOS games that are Cuphead based, and they didn't put those on there. Your iOS mobile gamers out there, you didn't even put Cuphead bootlegs on there. Super Mug Friend or whatever. Um, let's see. There's all those kinds of bootleg games on the iOS, but no Shovel Knight. 10. No Shovel Knight on that list. You ever play Shovel Knight?
No, I've not played Shovel Knight, no.
No. Oh my lord, Shovel Knight! What a fantastic game, though. Very reminiscent of the next game I'll talk about, but Shovel Knight, really cool one, pixely type indie game. Great soundtrack, great controls really well and plays really well. Main thing with platforms is it's got to control well. And next up is Mega Man
I
on greatest
know.
platformers of all time.
Mega
No
Man is
Mega
like
Man.
a genre definer.
Like there's like 20 Mega Man games out, and they couldn't have picked at least one.
Yeah.
Number 8, I got Crash Bandicoot. No Crash Bandicoot. What the fuck?
Yeah, weird.
Man. Self-explanatory. I put down 7. This might be controversial, but I put Journey for PlayStation 3, I want to say. I can't remember exactly. I think it was 3. It was an old game. But you ever played Journey?
Mm-mm.
That's a great one. Great, like atmospheric, huge soundtrack. Really like sprawling platform, and I put it down as a platform because that's all you do. You just jump on platforms. And eventually, the cool thing about Journey, not to spoil too much, but you get a little friend halfway through, the same sort of character you are, and you can like interact with them and push buttons and do like a little boop, a little sound effect to talk to them.
Aw.
It's so sick. Turns out when you finish the game, that was another player. You were playing with another person the whole time. It tells you, "Thanks for playing. You have played with," and it gives you their username at the very end. It's so sick. Like I got straight on, and I'm like, no way. I played it on PC. I got on Steam, messaged the profile name, and I'm like, yo, we just played Journey together. And the dude goes, oh shit, what up? Like, such a sick idea to do something like that. A mysterious, like sort of
Oh, wow.
Dark Souls type multiplayer experience that brings people together because you message them afterwards like, sick, we did so good. Like it was really sick to chat to the guy afterwards.
That's cute.
And clever as a launch game to do that, to help you fill your friends list, right? To meet
Yeah.
people through the great idea all around. Journey's a fantastic one. Abe's Odyssey at 6. Ain't no one nowadays remember Abe's Odyssey though, and if you do, you're a goddamn hero. Oh my god, Abe's Odyssey. That old Nintendo game. I can't even remember if it was Nintendo. Forgive me, but Prince of Persia for like NES or SNES.
Yeah.
How you like move on a grid, same as a what am I doing? 20. We need Heart of Darkness on here too. Same sort of controlling game, but that's for PlayStation 1. One of my favorites. Heart of Darkness, uh, Prince of Persia, and Abe's Odyssey all control exactly the same. But oh my god, it's an absolute classic. That's what the tattoos on my hands are all about. Is Abe's Odyssey. But really, really cool one. Great message in that one. Great art. Really unique. Nightmarish even. I had a lot of nightmares. Um, let's see. No Trine. Number 5. I've got Trine here. You ever hear of that
What's
one? PlayStation
Trine?
game. So it's a PlayStation game. It's a cooperative one, 3 player. It's like a medieval type adventure game platformer, physics puzzles and that sort of thing. Put the box on the seesaw to get to the next part. Um, but there's 3 little characters you play as. There's a wizard, a ranger, and a fighter. And like the fighter can fight the enemies good and put the shield up, and you can jump on the shield as a little platform. The ranger's got a little grappling hook and can shoot arrows. And then the wizard can like conjure little boxes to put down, and you all have to like combine all those powers to work together and get through the levels. It's really sick.
Yeah.
There's like three Trine games out now. Really old one, but really sick.
That's cute.
Um,
I like
all
that.
came out on PC not too long ago. Where is Castlevania? Where's Castlevania? Come on! If you don't know what you're doing, Symphony of the Night, Super Castlevania 4, some of my favorite games of all time. The Belmonts, Dracula. Like, everyone on the goddamn planet knows that humans are little piles of secrets. Come on, everyone knows that line. Where's Castlevania on this list? Get out of here. Where's Metroid? Like Metroid Prime, Metroid Fusion. Like
Listen, I was waiting
where?
for you to say the next one because the
Oh,
reason why I think those two
go on.
specifically are
Okay.
not on this list is because Metroidvania as a category has become
Yeah.
genre defining in its own right. So perhaps
Yeah.
they are on a Metroidvania list and not this
Yeah.
one.
So you could say that they're sort of pioneering platform games that spawn their own genre and forest of games all on their own. Yeah. You could say that they're some of the greatest games of all time. Yeah. On a list that says greatest platformers of all time. I don't know, man. Fair enough. I see what you're saying though. Yeah, they're in their own category almost. Cool. A bit like Journey, I guess. That's why
I
it's a bit
think the
controversial.
only reason I mentioned this, and I would not mention it for a curated list, but this website seems to automatically create these lists based off of the reviews given on the website and what type of game they were categorized as when the review was given. So there are several things acting
Bullshit.
against number 3, number 4, Metroid and Castlevania from being on this list.
Yeah.
One, they most of these games came out before 2004 when this website came into existence. And two, if there is a modern game, they will now be classified as Metroidvania, most likely.
Yeah. All right. Well, number
Just to
two, I'm
be
going to
fair
skip.
to videogamer.com, I don't want them to think that we are slagging them off. They did not
Oh
curate
no,
this
absolutely
list.
not. I got no. I'm simply here for the big passion on the platformers, and I am slagging off mobile games, so all good. But no one in particular, just generally, all good. If you'd like to direct your complaints to, I'm not going to give my email address, but I would if it was a big issue and there were big complaints. I would direct it to me. It's me and my opinions only. I'm not representing anyone. Let's see. Two I'm going to skip for now. One, I got the top two positions here. So Blasphemous. Oh my god, you ever heard of Blasphemous? The art in this game, the music in this game, the story is whatever, but the art and the music. Oh my god, Blasphemous is so good. Like another Metroidvania type game. Maybe that's why it didn't make it also. But really, really cool platformer. Sort of based on Spanish religious mythology.
Cool.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
cool game. Oh, Blasphemous though, it's fantastic. Sick game, controls really well. Like cool powers and art and monsters and stuff. The boss fights are really unique. Cool game all around.
I mean, it
Um,
it literally defines itself as a Metroidvania title, not a
yeah,
platformer.
yeah, yeah. Well, Metroidvanias are platformers, man. What is that?
I think
Anyway,
I think that's the problem you're probably going to run
then
into.
maybe that's well. It's going to be the problem with the last game I have here. The number one game I would say on my list, and the number one platformer in my opinion, it's got to be Hollow Knight. It has to be that game right there. Has had such a huge following. It has some of the greatest music in a game of all time. For me personally, great soundtrack. A team of like three people made Hollow Knight. Team Cherry,
Hmm,
really sick devs. Come out on all platforms, pretty much. Hollow Knight,
very
sick little
cute.
platformer where you play as a little bug. It's quite like monochromatic, but then eventually as you
Yeah,
drift through
so
the
cute.
levels, yeah, the art's all really defined. It started out on Kickstarter. Cool little bug game where you fight little bugs and talk to little bugs and make bug friends. It's a sick game though. Really cool story. Another game that makes me cry a lot, especially the music. That's all on my list, but honorable mentions as I've gone through the list. Croc. Oh my god. No, Croc. Croc Legend of the Gobbos. Oh my god, absolutely terrible game. It's awful. Don't play it, but does deserve a place on the list. It was a cool PS1 game at the
And
time.
to be fair, it's also categorizing itself as Metroidvania. So
Yeah, it
I think
is.
it's
It is.
important to make the distinction because I think this list is going to make the distinction between Metroidvania and
Yeah,
platformer. So a
yeah,
platformer is linear progression, and a Metroidvania style game is gated progression based area unlocks and things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So that is
Okay.
the real only distinction.
Okay, well, fair enough on that one. All good. I guess honorable mentions are just Croc, Lost Vikings. Really cool one, really old game. Had a lot to do with the puzzle platformer genre. Cooler World, from my old memory. No one on the planet is gonna know Cooler World. You look up Cooler World, it's a trip. You play as a little beach ball. It's a trip. Cooler World. Yeah, it's about it, I think. Cooler World, Croc, Heart of Darkness. That's about it, really, in terms of platformers. I'm done. I'm done popping off. Uh, videogamer.com, whatever your name is, all good. List randomly generated as it might be based on reviews, whatever. Donkey Kong Country, where you at? That's all I gotta say.
I mean, to be honest, it does sound like we need to do a separate Metroidvania list.
Metroidvania lists. I'd be into that.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah,
a
man.
lot of the games that you're expecting to see would now, as of modern times, have been spun off under that subgenre. Whereas
Yeah,
probably when you played them or when you decided that they were platformers, sort of in your mind, same for me, it hadn't been invented yet, the title of Metroidvania like title. So maybe that's something
I
that's
think you're
worth
right.
doing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely.
I'm gonna put it in the list.
Well, Donkey Kong Country ain't no Metroidvania. Where's that on the list, huh? Oh no. Heart of Darkness ain't no Heart of Darkness. Abe's Odyssey, they ain't no Metroidvanias. Where they at?
You're so funny. All right,
All
any
good.
final thoughts? Like you've given us your list and I think the children required it. Any final thoughts?
Yeah,
Anything?
well, nothing much really. Kirby, Donkey Kong, all those good things, all great. But there's still some solid games on this list. I think there's some absolute bangers of a game on here. Little Big Planet, Psychonauts definitely, Ori and the Blind Forest. You still got some great games on here. So I think the list is still pretty solid.
My
Celeste,
final thought is go play Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi on Super Nintendo, and you tell me if it
you know,
isn't the best
it's
platformer of all time.
it's so funny that you should mention that because there was a Star Wars platformer I played and it was on Game Boy. It was the Star Wars game for Game Boy, and I did not know what was going on. The sprites for that game were so obscure looking. You can't even tell what's supposed to be what. I just played it I played it at like 3 o'clock in the morning as a little kid. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
I
that
don't
game.
know.
I mean, that's my only contribution to this title. So thank you so much, Steve, for running this topic
Cool.
for us today.
No
And I'm sure
worries.
people will have some comments. That wraps up this episode of Retro Rebel Gamecast. I do want to thank Steve for this week's discussion. All the notes from this episode, including Steve's improved list, will be posted on our site, templeofgeek.com. So if you'd like to add to the discussion or reach out with questions, sound off in the comments. Tell us what we got right or wrong. Email us via retrorebel@templeofgeek.com. If you like what you hear, head over to wherever you download your podcast and subscribe so you'll be sure to get each episode as it's released, and rate us because that really helps our show. So until the next time, we'll see you later.
Hell yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.